So don't go to medical school.
Yes,
Yeah.
pointless.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you, but I would say that applies to any form of education. There's a shortage of doctors and great surgeons. You're a doctor yourself.
Yes.
You know how that it takes a long time for a human to become
Ridiculously expensive and long.
ridiculous, a super long time to learn to be a good doctor. And even then, the knowledge is constantly evolving. It's hard to keep up with everything. Doctors have limited time. They make mistakes. And you say, like, how many great surgeons are there? Not that many great surgeons.
When do you think Optimus will be a better surgeon than the best surgeons? How long for that?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Yeah. And by the way, that's
I'd say 3 years at scale.
Yes.
Meaning there'll probably be more Optimus robots that are great surgeons than there are all surgeons on Earth.
And the cost of that is the capex and electricity, and it works in Zimbabwe. The best surgeon is in the villages throughout Africa or any place on the planet.
Yeah, where do you think it'll roll out first? Not the U.S., obviously.
Here at the Gigafactory.
Oh, you just do surgery in the...
But that's an important statement in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
Because medicine, I mean,
I'm not like absolutely certain, but I'd say if you say like 4 years, I'd be absolutely
If it's 4 or 5 years, who cares? That's still an incredible statement to make. I mean, good for humanity, right? All of a sudden you demonetize.
Okay, here's the thing to understand about like humanoid robots in terms of the rate of improvement, which is that you have 3 exponentials multiplied by each other. You have an exponential increase in the AI software capability, exponential increase in the AI chip capability, and an exponential increase in the electromechanical dexterity. The usefulness of the humanoid robot is it's those 3 things multiplied by each other.
Right.
Then you have the recursive effect of Optimus building Optimus.
Right. And then you have the shared...
So you have a recursive, multiplicable, triple exponential.
And you have the shared knowledge of all the experiences.
Is that literally
fast.
Optimus building Optimus, or is it because
Well, not right now, but will be.
The physical humanoid form factor building the humanoid form, as opposed to
it's a von Neumann machine.
Yeah,
I love that.
But the von Neumann machine is usually something kind of like this shape, making something else this shape.
No, it's just in principle, it's simply a self-replicating thing.
Elon, do you know what the number one question you ask a surgeon when you're interviewing them?
Is this a surgeon joke?
No. It's how many times do you do that?
There's got to be some funny surgeon jokes.
I wish. No, it's serious. It's how many times did you do the surgery this morning?
Sorry?
How many times did you do the surgery this morning or yesterday? It's the number of experiences, right? And so with a shared memory, every Optimus surgeon will have seen every possible perturbation of every case.
Like it won't be possible for
in
humans
infrared,
to
in ultraviolet. No, not too much caffeine that morning. They didn't have a fight with their husband or wife. Yeah.
Extreme precision.
Yes.
3 years.
Yes. Better than any. Probably, I'd say if you like put a little margin on it, better than any human in 4 years.
Who's in plastic surgery?
By 5 years, it's not even close.
So what about the simple, there's a million of these things to figure out, but who's going to have access to the first Optimus that does far, far better microsurgery than any surgeon on Earth, but you've only manufactured the first 10,000 of them?
No,
how do you dole it out?
I don't think people understand how many robots there's going to be.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be a window of time where there are 10,000.
10 billion by 2040. You still on that path?
That's a low number.
A low number.
Wow. What's the constraint? What's the because if they're self-building,
metal. The constraint is metal.
Yeah, or lithium. Or,
you got to move the atoms.
It's just all out of supply chain stuff.
So, but your point.
I mean, there's some rate limit. You can't just manufacturing is very difficult. So it's recursive, multiplicable, triple exponential. But you still need to. You still have to climb that.
Selling hope once again. I think your point was medicine is going to be effectively free. The best medicine in the world.
Everyone will have access to medical care that is better than what the president receives right now.
So don't go to medical school.
Yes, pointless.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you, But I would say that applies to any form of education.
And joining me now is the man credited with laying the foundation for the AI revolution, the godfather of AI, Nobel Prize-winning computer scientist Geoffrey Hinton. Professor, thanks for joining us. So your research on neural networks paved the way for this modern AI boom. I interviewed you 2 years ago, right after you quit Google, and you first began warning the world about what you saw as the risks of AI. When you look at how AI has progressed since then, are you more or less worried about it?
I'm probably more worried. It's progressed even faster than I thought. In particular, it's got better at doing things like reasoning and also at things like deceiving people.
What do you mean by deceiving people?
So an AI, in order to achieve the goals you give it, wants to stay in existence. And if it believes you're trying to get rid of it, it will make plans to deceive you so you don't get rid of it.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang said recently about AI, quote, "Every industry needs it, every company uses it, and every nation needs to build it. This is the single most impactful technology of our time." Do you agree with that assessment?
I agree that it's the single most impactful technology of our time, yes.
Do you think the AI revolution could have a similar impact on society as the creation of the internet or even the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, or even bigger than that?
I think it's at least like the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution made human strength more or less irrelevant. You couldn't get a job just because you were strong anymore. Now it's going to make human intelligence more or less irrelevant.
Now, you and we in the media tend to focus on some of the downsides of AI. There are positives, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't have worked on it early on. A lot of people are working to use this technology to benefit humanity as well, to lead to advances in medicine and the like. But you think the risks from AI outweigh the positives?
I don't know. So there are a lot of wonderful effects of AI. It'll make healthcare much better. It'll make education much better. It'll enable us to design wonderful new drugs and wonderful new materials that may deal with climate change. So there's a lot of good uses. In more or less any industry where you want to predict something, it'll do a really good job. It'll do better than people were doing before, even things like the weather. But along with those wonderful things come some scary things, and I don't think people are putting enough work into how we can mitigate those scary things.
You come from the tech world, obviously. Do you think the Silicon Valley CEOs building these systems are taking the risks seriously at all? Do you think that they are driven mainly by financial interests? A lot of people are going to get very wealthy off this.
I think it depends which company you're talking about. Initially, OpenAI was very concerned with the risks, but it's progressively moved away from that and put less emphasis on safety and more emphasis on profit. Meta has always been very concerned with profit and less with safety. Anthropic was set up by people who left OpenAI and were very concerned with safety, and they still are probably the company most concerned with safety. But of course, they're trying to make a profit too.
What do you think the government should do, if anything, when it comes to regulation of AI, putting some sort of restrictions or some sort of oversight?
There's many things they should do. The very least they could do is insist that big companies that release chatbots do significant testing to make sure those chatbots won't do bad things. Like now, for example, encouraging children to commit suicide. Now that we know about that, companies should be required to do significant testing to make sure that won't happen. And of course, the tech lobby would rather have no regulations, and it seems to have got to Trump on that. And so Trump is trying to prevent there being any regulations, which I think is crazy.
Can you know these tech CEOs? I don't. When one of them learns that an AI chatbot has talked a child into suicide, what is it that stops them? What is it that, I mean, my impulse would be, well, holy smokes, stop AI right now until we fix this so not one other kid dies. But they don't do that. Can you explain to us what their thinking is, if anything?
Well, I don't really know their thinking. I suspect that they think things like, well, there's a lot of money to be made here. We're not going to stop it just for a few lives. But I also think they may think there's a lot of good to be done here. And just for a few lives, we're not going to not do that good. For example, for driverless cars, they will kill people, but they'll kill far fewer people than ordinary drivers. So it's worth it.
Tech, you have said that you think there's a 10 to 20% chance that AI takes over the world. People at home might hear that. They might think it sounds like science fiction. It's alarmist. But that's a very real fear of yours, right?
Yes, it's a very real fear of mine and a very real fear of many other people in the tech world. Elon Musk, for example, has similar beliefs.
You wrote that 2025 was a pivotal year for artificial intelligence, for AI. What do you think we're going to see in 2026?
I think we're going to see AI get even better. It's already extremely good. We're going to see it having the capabilities to replace many, many jobs. It's already able to replace jobs in call centers, but it's going to be able to replace many other jobs. Each 7 months or so, it gets to be able to do tasks that are about twice as long. So for a coding project, for example, it used to be able to just do a minute's worth of coding. Now it can do whole projects that are like an hour long. In a few years' time, it'll be able to do software engineering projects that are months long. And then there'll be very few people needed for software engineering projects.
All right, Jeffrey Hinton, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, and we hope that people are listening to your warnings.
Hey, Optimus, do you know where I can get a Coke?
Sorry, I don't have real-time info, but I can take you to the kitchen if you want to check for a Coke there.
인간의 요청에 잠시 머뭇거리더니 콜라를 찾으러 가는 로봇. 얼마 전 공개된 테슬라의 최신 휴머노이드 옵티머스 2.5입니다. AI 챗봇 그록의 음성 비서 기능을 통해 인간과 자연스럽게 대화를 주고받고요. 이전 버전과 달리 외관, 이음새가 더욱 매끈해지고 금색 옷을 입은 게 눈에 띕니다. 다만 일각에선 행동이 너무 둔한 것 아니냐는 비판도 나오는데요. 테슬라 CEO 일론 머스크는 다가올 3세대 옵티머스는 아직 공개 전이지만 숭고할 것이라고 기대감을 드러냈습니다.
기술 패권 시대 한국이 맞을 미래를 경고하는 KBS 다큐멘터리가 큰 반향을 일으키고 있습니다. 제작진은 공대로 인재가 몰리는 중국과 의대로 인재가 쏠리는 한국의 모습을 대비하며 이 길이 맞는 길인지 묻고 있습니다. 먼저 핵심 내용을 함께 보시고 정용재 PD와 얘기 나눠보겠습니다.
로봇끼리 권투를 하고 운전자가 없는 무인 택시가 도로 위를 자유롭게 다닙니다. 모두 메이드 인 차이나. 하지만 기술의 수준은 이전과는 전혀 다릅니다. 미국의 대중국 기술 제재 이후 급속도로 이뤄진 중국 첨단 기술의 현주소입니다.
已经不是传统意义上那些就是made in China 好像只是因为更便宜或者性价比更高，其实不是。现在其实这个算什么 invented in China。
Invented in China. 중국 창조의 시대가 열렸다는 자신감 뒤엔 치열한 인재 발굴 전략이 자리하고 있습니다. 국가가 필요로 하는 과학 분야 인재를 철저한 공교육 시스템 안에서 체계적으로 육성한다는 이른바 거국 동원 정책입니다.
我们经常讲，其实科技人才他要早培养、早发现，就是我们希望培养的是真正适合的、为国家未来发展有贡献的一些人才。
반면 우리나라는 어떨까요?
솔직히 과외쌤한테 1억 주면 의대 무조건 보내준다 그래. 그럼 자기들 1억 쓸 거야, 안 쓸 거야? 쓰죠! 까위는 써요!
돈을 많이 벌고 싶다고 얘기를 했었는데 가장 많이 추천받은 직업이 의대였고 일반 연고대 나오는 것보다 한 몇 배씩 훨씬 벌고.
서울대 연고대, 이른바 스카이 대학 자연계 정시 합격자 가운데 43%가 의대 진학을 위해 입학을 포기하는 게 우리의 현실입니다.
이제 순수 과학을 전공하겠다고 이제 들어왔던 친구들도 현실적인 벽들에 부딪히고 이러다 보니까 다들 말없이 조용히 다 의대로.
반수반 이제 6월 중순에 열어요. 대학교 아이들뿐만이 아니라 일반 직장인들까지도 많이 와 있어요. 요 근래 좀 더 가속화됐어요.
그나마 남은 공대생조차 열악한 연구 환경, 양질의 일자리 부족 탓에 해외로 빠져나가는 절박한 상황에 놓여 있습니다.
공대는 안 된다. 가서 뭐 먹고 살려고 그러냐.
공대에 집중하는 중국. 의대에 매달리는 한국. 기술력이 곧 국가의 생존을 결정하는 글로벌 기술 패권 경쟁 속에 대한민국의 시간은 어디로 흘러가는지 다시 한번 생각해 볼 때입니다. KBS 뉴스 정용재입니다.
네, 중국 현지에서 직접 취재한 KBS 다큐 인사이트 정용재 PD 나와 있습니다. 정 PD 어서 오십시오.
안녕하세요.
네, 자, 이 프로그램 제목부터 좀 도발적입니다. 그만큼 강력한 경고 메시지라고 볼 수도 있을 것 같은데요. 자, 공대에 미친 중국 어떻게 만들게 된 겁니까?
예, 중국의 분위기가 아무래도 좀 폐쇄적인 게 있다 보니까 사실 우리가 접하게 되는 그 소식들은 다 좀 자극적이거나 아니면 좀 충격적인 사건, 사고 위주의 것들이 많은 것 같습니다. 그걸 보다 보면 아, 중국 아직 우리나라 따라오긴 멀었다. 뭐 이런 생각이 아직도 팽배한 것 같고요. 근데 제가 이제 현지에 가서 보니까요. 아, 우리가 중국을 참, 다 알진 못하고 있었다. 이런 생각이 많이 들고 이 기술 패권 전쟁에서 승기를 잡기 위해서 이 중국이란 나라가 얼마나 치밀하고 또 조용히 뒤에서 칼을 갈고 있었는지 이런 것들을 느끼면서 이 위기감을 꼭 시청자분들께 전달해드리고 싶었습니다.
네, 그 기술 굴기의 근본은 교육 아니겠습니까? 중국의 교육 현장 직접 보니까 우리와는 어떻게 달랐습니까?
예, 맞습니다. 중국의 교육 현장은 제가 직접 가본 결과로는요. 가장 흥미로운 점은 이제 초등학교부터 중학교, 고등학교, 대학교 갈 때까지 이제 매 단계마다 선발 과정이 있더라고요. 인재를 이제 선발해서 그 선발된 인재들이 이 결국엔 국가 발전에 필요한 첨단 산업 인재로 공교육 차원에서 이렇게 육성된다는 게 굉장히 좀 무섭고 새로웠습니다.
네, 이 중국의 현재와 대비되는 모습이죠. 오늘 9시 뉴스 바로 다음에 이제 2부가 방송됩니다. 의대에 미춘 한국 편인데 어떤 내용 담았는지 잠깐 소개해 줄 수 있을까요?
예, 보시다시피 이제 중국이 기술 굴기에 온 전력을 쏟아붓는 사이에 그럼 우리나라는 무엇을 하고 있었는가라는 고민이 많이 됩니다. 소위 이제 미래 먹거리를 창출하는 그런 직업군은 좀 외면받고 이제 국가가 라이센스로서 보호하는 그런 직업군들의 너무 많은 최상위권 학생들이 몰려가는 혹은 몰려갈 수밖에 없는 이런 기형적인 현상이 점점 가속화되고 심화가 되고 있는데요. 우리나라도 한때는 전교 1등이라면 물리학과를 가야지라는 시대가 있었다고 하는데
네, 그렇죠.
이 짧은 시간 동안 왜 이렇게 우리 사회가 변했는지 그리고 그 해법은 무엇인지 심층 취재했으니까요. 2부 의대에 미친 한국 많은 시청 부탁드립니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 정영재 PD의 오늘 잘 들었습니다.